Euroslam, back today with another video. The playoffs are upon us and they've been awesome so far. So I decided that every day I'm going to post a video, I'm going to update on the action the night before, I'm going to give you a little bit of preview for the next day, what's going to happen. So on that note, let's get right to yesterday's action. So yesterday starting up, we had the Raptors playing the Nets. So the Raptors won the first game, it looked pretty promising. It was in a pretty easy series for them. The Nets came out today playing very gritty, very hard. And it was a close game, but at the end of the fourth quarter, Raptors had a big fourth quarter. They was scored 30-19 in the fourth quarter. Big game, Fred VanVleet. Norman Powell looked awesome. Kyle Lowry, big game too. The Bay struggled a bit, but in the end, the Raptors, they won 104-99. Got the job done. That's what it's all about. It's not always pretty, but they're getting the win. I think we could be getting a sweep here from the Raptors. I just don't think the Nets are getting a game. We didn't play the greatest game today, but then we got it done. It looks like the next two should be okay games for us. Expect the sweep to come, if not at least in 5. This will be a pretty easy series for the Raptors. The Nets are kind of, they're messing half their team and stuff. So talking about them, it is what it is. Raptors big win today, got it done. Next game after that, another fun one. Jazz playing the Nuggets. Now the first game was a great game as well. Went into overtime. Donovan Mitchell, 57 points. He had 9 boards, 7 assists. Huge game. Nuggets player, a couple of 50 points. Awesome game. So, tough time losing overtime. So, I knew they needed a big win here. Jazz came out. Huge win over the Nuggets. They won by 20, I think it was. Donovan Mitchell, big game again, 30 points. Series is now tied 1-1. I said coming into the series that if the Jazz are going to win, that they will win this series, it'll be an upset. The Jazz will upset the Nuggets. And Donovan Mitchell has to be the best player in this series. And people are going to Jokic is the best player in this series, but Mitchell, really, really good player. He's an all-star. He's a young player, honestly, potential superstar. I think he's going to be big in this series for the Jazz. I think propel them to the victory, I think. Series is now tied 1-1. So we'll see how the Nuggets come the next game. I think this series coming down to 6 or 7. I think the Jazz are going to pull out, though. If they played again like they played again today, even the first game they played really well, lost in overtime. I think the Jazz might have this series. It's going to be a close one. After that, we had the Sixers playing the Celtics game too. Obviously, Boston won the first game. Gordon Hayward went down with an ankle sprain there, so he's now out 4 weeks. Big blow for the Celtics. I actually had them as my dark horse coming out of the East. So now I'm a little skeptical on the Celtics winning the East now. I think it's even more wide open now with the Bucks were playing too the day before. So I don't know how it's going to play out, but today the Sixers started out really well. Big first quarter for Joel Embiid again. And then from there, they kind of plateaued downwards. The Celtics commandingly won the next 3 quarters. They blew up the Sixers in the end. The series is basically over at this point. The Celtics have looked pretty dominant Sixers for the most part. We'll have to see come game 3 if Joel Embiid can continue to dominate. He kind of seems to dominate the first quarter, then he kind of just shies away, takes jump shots. So he had a good game, though, today, double-double, but he's going to have to be even better, and it's going to be tough for Sixers to win a game, or even 2, or even win the series. It's not going to happen, I don't think. I think the Sixers have this 1-5. I think now it's coming down to potentially even a sweep at this point. Sixers will kind of lost that team, so look out for the next couple of games. Celtics looks pretty in control with that. And the last game of the night, another great game. Mavericks playing the Clippers. Obviously, LA won that first game. Mavs had a big lead initially in that game, and they blew it. The Clippers pulled through. Today, the Mavs, they need to get a win today. After seeing the Blazers get a win the night before, I was hoping the Mavs get a win too, make it a close series, and they came out playing big today. Luka had a good game, but really it was just the overall team effort for the Mavs. Everyone was stepping up. The bench was huge for them. And they ended up winning the game, double-digit win. Huge series now tied 1-1. Paul George struggled from the field quite a bit. Kawhi did a great job. He had over 30 points for the Clippers there, but no Patrick Beverley. He's got calf injuries if he ends up sitting out the game. Now, the Clippers are going to win this series. It's most likely going to win this series, but don't count the Mavs. They're looking like a pretty solid, deep team. Great coach. I love Rick Carlisle. Fantastic coach. And just their defense was really good today, too. And just they were crashing. They were playing hard, hustling for loose balls, It's really good effort by the whole team. Luka at times had some foul trouble, and the bench came through. They stepped up big time. So don't be surprised if the series goes to 6 games, because the Mavs, like, they're in a fight for it. And it's just watching the bubble so far in the playoffs. It just shows you that really, like, it's wide open in a sense too. Like, everyone has this foregone conclusion that's going to be the Clippers, the Lakers win a championship. They're playing probably the Bucks in the finals. But right now, it's like it looks almost wide open. That, like, anybody could take this thing in theory. It's going to be a really fun playoffs, I think, and I'm really excited for it, because you really don't have the super teams anymore. You have all these teams that really have these great duels, And look at the Clippers and Mavs, right? You got Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, and you have like deep team, and the Mavs. You got Luka, and you got Porzingis. You have these great duels, and they have a deep team as well. So you have these duels going at it, and then you got LeBron and Davis, and all these other duels in the league as well, right? So it's really interesting to see how deep the league is down from like 1 to 8 now in the playoffs. You see the Blazers the other night beat the Lakers, a little bit of a shock there. The Magic beat the Bucks. So coming in tomorrow, on that note, some big games. They were the Pacers and the Heat starting off at 1 o'clock. I think they're playing. Miami won that first game. It was a close game too, though. Jimmy pulled through. Jimmy's feeling it. Jimmy Butler. I think the Heat's taking game 2 as well. Could go either way. The Pacers could try it up too, though. This could be a good series as well. Don't be surprised if it goes 6 or 7 games. Pacers they're missing a few players, but they're still a really, really good, gritty team as well. Then I think you have the Thunder and the Rockets coming up in an afternoon game. Rockets won game 1. I picked Rockets to win this series before it started. Harden looks good. The Thunder had some struggles at times. This series is going to be a good one too. I had said that Harden has to be the best player for the Rockets to win this year, that he has to dominate. Expect him to have, I was saying, 40 points a game. He had 30-something game 1 there. But I think that the Rockets are going to win this series. I think Harden's going to take over. And if they win game 2 and they go up 2-0, 3-1 in this series, Westbrook might not even play in this series, because they're really kind of being careful with him before bringing him back. So, and Eric Gordon's back now too, so that's big for the Rockets. So watch out for that. You might not even see Westbrook in this series at all. They might rest him if the Rockets can keep playing the way they're playing and get a couple more wins and win the series. Then you got the Magic and the Bucks. Now, Magic had a huge first win over the Bucks. Huge upset. They're the 8th seed, obviously. And even like lost Sean to Isaac. He got injured during the bubble, out for the year, half year. Pretty bad injury. They played well. Vukovic played really well. They were able to contain Giannis for the most part. Their Bucks players were struggling. It came down to it. Like, you saw the Bucks in the bubbles. They had their struggle. And the Bucks have a really good team, but so they're kind of that 3 months off kind of threw off their chemistry a bit, and so they seem a little off right now. Watch for that as the playoffs go on. They thought it was going to be an easy time playing the Magic, but you see the Magic, they have a solid team. I think they're like, they don't really have a true like superstar on their teams. That's kind of their downfall, but they got a good overall team. They remind a bit of the Clippers last year. They had this good overall team play going on. They're just, they're a star or two away from being, an actual contender, but look for them to play hard. Look for the Bucks to come back with a commanding win today. I think the Bucks could easily still win the next 4 games. Don't think the Bucks are going to be just fall apart now and lose a series or like a crumble. No, the Bucks are going to win in 5 or 6 still. The Magic and notoriously, actually the Magic won game 1 against the Raptors, and the Raptors won next 4. So expect the Bucks to fix a few things, win the game. The same thing I'll say about the Lakers and the Blazers. Expect the Lakers to come out, win this game. Game 1, they had at one point in hand, and then they just collapsed at the end of the game. And people right now are like, oh, I'm so concerned for the Lakers. It was a bit concerning, I'm not going to lie, but overall, Lakers played a pretty good game, I thought, at times. The first quarter was horrendous at times for the Lakers. I think they gave up like 33 or 36 points. And after that, they kind of locked down the defense a little better. Portland looked lost when Lillard was on the bench. So I really don't see the Blazers winning this series realistically. Their defense is atrocious. And came out Lakers should have won game 1. They just couldn't hit a 3-pointer to save their life, basically. It was just, the role players got up for Lakers. You got to make your shots. your role for most of these guys is to make their 3-point shots, and they're not making them. So we'll see if Vogel changes the line a little bit. Will we see maybe Dion Waiters play some more minutes? Maybe J.R. Smith comes in, plays some minutes, because they're shooters, right? They can shoot. So we see a couple changes there. Maybe less bigs playing, maybe less minutes for Howard, a little more small ball, maybe Davis at the 5 more. We'll see how that plays out. Also, look out, Rondo is saying he's questionable. He may play in this game. I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest. I'm going to predict that Rondo is going to play maybe only 10 to 15 minutes, but just to bring that energy. It's infectious. Him coming back brings the energy back because the guy's pumped up. He's a great leader for that team, too. He's just a very good all-around player to have for them. Obviously, he's not a great shooter, but another ball handler gives LeBron a chance to rest a little bit, not have to carry that duty the whole time. So look for Rondo. If he can, he'll come and play a little bit, just even get that boost going for the team. Look out, too, for LeBron and Davis. They're going to have more on. They got to attack more. The Blazers were getting in foul trouble. I don't know why. Then they didn't attack more. They were settling for jump shots. It was a bit frustrating, but they only scored 93 points in that game, but couldn't come out of this game. LeBron's going to be hungry. He'll come out. They're going to attack mode. I think Lakers are going to have a big win coming up today. Look out for that. And that's going to be big, guys. Every day for the next couple of days, we're going to have 4 games a day. It's awesome. So I'll keep posting the videos. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you're subscribed. Every day I'm going to have a video coming out. The weekend we'll do a weekend review, kind of. I'll bring JD in as well. So look out for that, guys. Comment below if you have anything you want to say as well, any suggestions you want to say, anything thought about the games that I missed or anything you disagree with me, let me know. Thanks for watching, guys.